I've never heard a person in my family express the ingratitude towards this country that Ilhan Omar does towards this country.
When the world interacts with Americans through programs that provide essential need, they get to see the heart and compassion of the American people.
My God, show a little appreciation for the fact that you would be living in a crap hole if this country didn't bring you to a place that has, obviously, its problems, but has a lot of prosperity too.
I lived in a refugee camp for 4 years as a child surviving civil war. It is the essential programs that USAID provided that kept my family and I fed and safe.
Because, one of the core arguments to your point is like, you don't want these like ethnic enclaves becoming self-containing. You want people to integrate into the broader American family. And that's obviously true. What's interesting though, is that I feel like the American elite has revealed itself to be so corrupted over the last 20 years, and especially over the last 4 or 5 years, that I think it makes assimilation itself like an interesting question, right? Because like when I think about like Ilhan Omar, one argument about Omar is that she has assimilated very successfully into garbage elite white liberal culture, right? And one worry that I have is that it's not totally clear what we want new Americans assimilating into. In the 1980s, the 1990s, immigrants received a message: this great country is your own. You owe something to it. It owes something to you.
What's going on, everybody, man? We got to talk about Ilhan Omar, your favorite representative. Y'all already know. And the growing frustration inside of the Democratic Party. Now, believe it or not, the latest person calling Ilhan out is Democratic strategist James Carville. Yes, y'all know James Carville, the Crypt Keeper himself. Now, look, not a fan of the guy, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. Carville, he went on this crazy viral rant suggesting that Ilhan Omar might want to reconsider whether she belongs in the Democratic Party or not. He's actually telling them, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and others, y'all might want to, start your own party, because blasting white people, especially white men in this country who happen to make up, I guess, about 33%, 33% voter block in the country, blasting them, not necessarily the smartest thing to do. And according to him, and her rhetoric is politically toxic, and it only hurts the party. And he's probably right about that. We got to get into this. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, because this is hilarious. Let's go.
Friends in Minneapolis, and people think, a lot of people think well of her, but she started attacking white males. And I'm saying, wait a minute, let's stop. All right. In 2024, 72% of the people that voted were white. All right. That's just a fact. Of that 72, probably 48%, or 48.5% were male. So it's somewhere around, I did the math on the thing, about 33% of the people that are going to vote are going to be white males. Well, it's stupid to attack 33% of the voters.
Right.
That's not, you don't want to start there. What you try to do is you start and you build up. And so what I would say to Congressman Omar, why don't you be a Democratic Socialist of America? Do what AOC did.
The thing is that even AOC still considers herself a member of the Democrat Party. And that's the thing. A lot of these socialists, the socialist wing of the party, they don't have a whole lot of nice things to say about white people. But the crazy thing is they date and marry white men, which is the craziest thing ever. I mean, it's really wild. And they want the vote. And when they don't get their vote, they're frustrated and they're upset. And then you have people all over the internet losing it because they didn't do what needed to be done to ingratiate themselves with their constituents. Y'all seen the liberals out there crashing out for Jasmine Crockett because, white people, white men, especially Hispanic people, Hispanic men especially, did not support her. But how do you expect to receive support when you're talking trash about these folks? That was a lot of the reason why Hillary Clinton wasn't going to get my vote. She called people that look like me super predators. There's absolutely no way I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? It's insane. And the fact that, a Barack Obama or somebody can get out here and say, hey, yeah, disregard all of that and support these people. I mean, he's out of his mind as well. But I want you guys to hear it from PBD. Check this out.
Level. And by the way, this whole thing they talk about the white culture and, let me tell you, it's all about the white culture, this, and, we have a problem with this. Every one of these guys, as much as they bash the white culture in America, they only marry white people. Kamala Harris's spouse, white. Ilhan Omar's spouse, white. AOC spouse, white. Every one of these guys, you keep talking about them. They're trying to go to that. It's not working.
Yeah, you can keep going down the list when you start talking about these liberals as much as they talk about white folks. Don Lemon, Ketanji Brown Jackson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on with these people. They're hypocrites. The crazy thing is that why don't their own constituents see this and say, hey, wait a minute, time out. What are y'all talking about? Y'all are in relationships, serious relationships with white people. And I personally don't care if that's your business. But don't be out here, you know what I'm saying, on TV, on every broadcast, talking about how bad white people are. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. And then it also makes you wonder, who are these dudes that they're dealing with that they can get on TV and say something like what Ilhan Omar has said, and I'm about to show the clip, and then allow her to come home and get into bed with you like everything's all good. I just don't understand it. I wouldn't dare. I couldn't do it.
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but of fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Lady, why don't you just get out the Democratic Party? Honestly, start your own movement. All right, let's do the simple math. Probably 69%, I don't know, we could call Jim Gerstein or Jeff Garrett. Roughly 69% of the people going to vote in November, maybe more. Let's do 70 for just round math, are going to be white. Of that, 48%, maybe a little more, are going to be male. So that's roughly, let's just call it 33 1/3% of the entire election. Well, let's just run against them because that's so goddamn smart. All right. So now we're going to have a campaign by the progressive left against white men who vote about a third of everybody that votes in an election. Why don't you, lady, start your own party? And then when it's over, if you want to caucus with the Democrats, fine. We agree with a lot of things that you do, but we don't believe we ought to be running against white men. In fact, we don't think we ought to be running against any gender, any ethnic group, any race, any religion, or anything else. God damn, these people are just helpless. They cannot be helped. There's nothing you can do to help them. They don't want to be helped. And if they had any guts, they'd start their own goddamn political party and get out of ours.
You know, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy, man. When James Carville starts sounding like the voice of reason, you know something strange is happening in the Democratic Party. I'm telling you, that's like going to the dentist and he tells you, actually, you've been flossing perfectly. You're just sitting there like, wait, what timeline, am I in right now? This is crazy. This is crazy. The fact that these people think that this is a winning strategy, get out there and disparage people and then say, hey, vote for me, by the way. I know I told you I don't like you, but vote for me anyway. Makes absolutely no sense. And to be honest with you, whether you're on the right or the left, I don't think you should be disparaging any of the voters. Your job is to do what you need to do to get people to come to your side. If they're not a part of the base, your job is to figure out a way to appeal to people, to get and show them like, hey, I am here for you. This is what I plan to do for you. Come support me. Please support me. But nah, that's not what these people do. That's not what they do.
Congresswoman, where do we stand on the investigation into Ilhan Omar? Obviously, there's some, questions regarding her citizenship. She's been referred to the Ethics Committee. Can we trust the Ethics Committee to actually be ethical and do the right thing?
Well, what's happened so far? Like, really, I think the remark is always let the process play out, right? That's what they always say, and nothing never happens. I tried to subpoena her immigration records, her husband's immigration records, and it was Republicans that killed my motion.
Yeah, and what's going on with that? Do you have any more insight you can share on that front?
As far as I know, nothing's going on, and nothing will go on. That's Congress for you, because both sides protect the other.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do. And we know this. And that is a lot of the reason why I've been saying for a long time we need term limits. People like Ilhan Omar, they shouldn't be in our government either. I want to see born citizens, with a lineage here in this country for, a couple of generations before you even think about being a part of our politics. But she's absolutely right. They do protect each other. I mean, that's just like the vote that just came out. I believe it was 357 people voted against releasing the documents on the different sexual harassments and things of that nature that's going on in Congress. 357 people within Congress, that's both those on the right and the left, said, nah, let's not put this information out, because they do what they need to do to protect each other. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I want you guys to hear from Jasmine Crockett, because this isn't a sound way to win elections.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
This lady, she's, these remarks cost her that Senate primary. These remarks right here, because it's extremely disrespectful. And to be honest with you, there are some black folks that would love to own a plantation and would work the land. There are. But the fact that you put it out there like, oh, we need these immigrants to come over here and we need them to pick cotton and pick fruit and things of that nature, it just shows you how disrespectful those on the left are. I mean, why would you say something like this? It's so disrespectful to think and believe that, oh, if you're Hispanic or something along those lines, you automatically working in the fields and stuff like that. I mean, yeah. They're going to learn one of these days. Maybe not. But I want you to listen to this lady, because she scolds Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, no. What do you mean? Jasmine not going to Congress for Texas? Oh, Crockett. A girl can only dream. Listen, Jasmine, what was that one quote that you said? Let me think. Oh, yeah. We done picking cotton. You can't pay us enough to go find a plantation. Yeah, you remember that. I remember that. How could I forget? See, 6.5 million Hispanic voters in Texas, which is like the majority of the electoral vote here in the state. And you mean to tell me that you think that we're still picking cotton? Hell no, girl. Hell no. That's why you lost. You're racist. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. If you would have pitched that in 2002, 2001, you probably could have gotten like a good drift. However, that was people in the past. Those kids that I grew up with that were chasing a field every summer, every spring with their parents, moving school to school because they had to go pick fruit with their parents, are now grown up. And guess what? Do you think that they're going to go back to picking fields when they have a citizenship? No. As a matter of fact, they're not even looking to vote for blue people with blue policies that put their parents in fields. Fuck no. Some of them are real estate investors, business owners, they're passing down generational wealth, and you think that they're picking cotton. You out of your mind. I'm gonna remind you real quick, the majority of the Latino voters for Trump here in Texas live in the southern border. You know what happened in the southern border? No. Why? Because neither you nor Kamala have the balls to go down there. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Along the Texas border, Poverty levels are sky high as it is. When you import a bunch of riffraff from third world countries and they end up in those southern border towns, they strain the resources for those people. Those people can't even survive. And then you're bringing in all this riffraff with a CBP1 app, Ticketmaster to the United States, and you leave them there. That's why our governor had to ship all those people out. And then y'all complain, oh, you were shipping all. Yeah, because you guys brought them here. You blue people brought them here to Texas, and the southern towns were suffering. Not only that, but there was violence across the border in Tamaulipas, in Reynosa, all those cartels fighting to bring all those people over here. Why? Because they were profiting billions of dollars. And your ass still thinks that we're picking cotton? Take that. No Congress for Jasmine. As a matter of fact, why don't you go run for Missouri? What did you do in Missouri that they don't want you to run for them? Oh, I know. Exactly. Because people in Missouri see right through your... And so do we in Texas. Keeping Texas red.
I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. The link's in the description box below. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Hey, keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, He gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, it can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. Then the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.